in virtually every single major financial publication and TV show. And I even starred in a 60-minute story that won an Emmy for investigative journalism. How did I accomplish all this? I'll tell you this, I don't come from money. In fact, my parents were teachers who met in the Peace Corps. The secret to my success is that I have a knack for finding explosive investments in massively disruptive technologies. I bought Amazon in 1999, I bought Apple in 2000, and I bought Netflix in 2012. Investments like that helped me grow my hedge fund from $1 million to $200 million and nearly triple my clients' money. But since then, I've walked away from the business of helping the rich get richer. Now I'm showing everyday people how they can build generational wealth by investing in disruptive technologies. The technology that just landed on my radar might be the most disruptive and lucrative one I've ever seen. One market insider predicted that it could be even more important than the Industrial Revolution. And I want to give you, free of charge, the name and ticker symbol of the company at the center of this disruption. You don't have to give me your email address, your credit card, or anything like that. Just click the button on your screen to access this free pick. This stock is a backdoor into one of the most exciting stories in stock market history, a story in which everyday investors have been effectively barred from participating. Meanwhile, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and countless other Silicon Valley elites have been plowing vast sums of money into this technology. Now, it's your turn. Did you know that this year, nearly half of all millionaires are expected to come into their wealth by investing in tech? Mark my words, they're not doing that by buying stocks like Nvidia, Tesla, and Microsoft. They're becoming millionaires by spotting disruptions and buying the obscure stocks that are best positioned to profit from these disruptions. Our research indicates that you could make massive gains with this free recommendation. Plus, I'll share with you my new video that lays out this opportunity and how you can leverage it to change your financial future. You'll definitely want to make sure you watch that entire video. So with that said, click the button on the screen now, and I'll give you the name and ticker symbol of the company at the center of this technological sea change. I'll also send you my video explaining what this technology means for you, your community, and your financial situation. Hi, I'm Whitney Tilson. Several years ago, internet mogul Jeff Bezos quietly started an initiative I'm calling Amazon Helios, rapidly advancing a technology that could soon change society forever. The World Economic Forum has already confirmed that it's arguably the most exciting human discovery since fire. Regardless of how you feel about Jeff Bezos or Amazon, I think we can all agree that our world would be a very different place if Amazon didn't exist. 180 million Americans are Prime members. Its cloud computing platform powers some of the most popular websites, Spotify, Airbnb, and Netflix, for example. Its global fleet delivers 20 million packages every day. It operates 514 organic supermarkets, delivers medication to half of the US population, and even produces Oscar-winning films and Emmy-winning TV shows. But even with all the dramatic changes Amazon has brought to our culture, the economy, and the way we interact with the world, when historians look back on Jeff Bezos' legacy a century from now, I believe they'll regard Amazon Helios as the initiative that caused the most dramatic shift in our society. That's because this project could accelerate a radical technology with the potential to create generational wealth. Salesforce CEO and Time magazine owner Mark Benioff calls it the Holy Grail. Behind the scenes, Jeff Bezos has been driving this disruption forward for 14 years. But on February 6, 2025, Amazon made a move that could fast-track its development in a major way. And mark my words, even if you don't subscribe to any of Amazon's services, the Helios rollout will have major implications for you. It could soon impact the food you eat, the water you drink, the places you live and work, and even the prices you pay for airfare, gas, electricity, and household goods. One market insider predicted that this could be even more important than the Industrial Revolution. Bear in mind, I'm not talking about AI, and before you ask, I'm not talking about quantum computing, electric vehicles, cryptocurrencies, or robotics either. This is something completely different. It's flying under the radar for now, but it could actually become far bigger than all of these technologies. As a matter of fact, Bloomberg estimates that it could create $40 trillion in wealth. That would make the market for this technology roughly 10 times bigger than the markets for AI, quantum computing, electric vehicles, cryptocurrencies, and robotics combined. But if you want to claim a stake in this revolution, you'll have to act fast. We're about to cross what Barron's calls an impending tipping point. Blink, and you'll miss the boat entirely. So sit tight and listen closely. I'm going to explain why billionaire entrepreneur Vinod Khosla says you can make 1,000 times your money by investing in this phenomenon. I'll show you the 3 steps you need to take today to get on the right side of this shift. And I'll give you the name and ticker symbol of a stock that's perfectly positioned to take advantage of this sweeping change at no charge whatsoever. My name again is Whitney Tilson. For 18 years, I ran a successful hedge fund firm in New York. At our peak, we managed over $200 million in assets. One day in March 2008, I was invited to appear on CNBC and discuss our firm's investments. I told them that we had taken short positions across the financial sector, and I predicted that Congress would ultimately initiate a massive bailout. 1 year later, all the stocks I said to short were either reduced to pennies or had filed for bankruptcy. And the government had spent $700 billion to keep the banks in operation. CNBC invited me back and gave me a new nickname, The Prophet. How did I know that crash was coming? After managing hundreds of millions of dollars and building relationships with Wall Street legends like Warren Buffett, Seth Klarman, David Einhorn, and my college buddy Bill Ackman, I've developed a sixth sense for predicting big movements in U.S. stocks. For example, way back in 2000, I warned readers that the bubble in tech stocks was unsustainable and argued that continued growth was a mathematical impossibility. A month later, the dot-com bubble collapsed. Those who listened to me avoided the carnage when the Nasdaq plummeted 77% from its peak. Similarly, toward the end of 2021, I warned my readers that rising inflation and debt levels could trigger a market crash in 2022. And I published a list of 25 stocks to avoid at all costs. 2022 went on to become Wall Street's worst year since 2008. The stocks I flagged fell by 67% on average, and half of them dropped by 90% or more. Over the years, I've accurately predicted the decline of 68 different stocks, including 3 bankruptcies. I even went on 60 Minutes and told Anderson Cooper about a huge scandal within one of America's most popular home improvement companies, Lumber Liquidators. Shares quickly fell nearly 80% and the company eventually filed for bankruptcy. But I'm not here to talk about a fraudulent company, a doomed sector, or even a potential market crash. This is much bigger than that. I believe we are on the cusp of a dramatic economic transformation, one that will likely supercharge the savviest firms, potentially cause dozens of well-known but out-of-touch businesses to collapse, and put certain investors on the path to generational wealth. In fact, if you take the 3 steps I'm going to show you, you could see 500% gains from this shakeup. I know that may sound too good to be true. Few investors ever see anything close to a 500% winner. It's admittedly rare, but I can show you how to find one, because I found not 1, not 2, not even 3, but 19 stocks that went on to soar by 500% or more, with long-term gains as high as 7,278% in raw stores, 11,660% in AutoZone, and even 35,629% with Tractor Supply. That's enough to turn a $1,000 stake into more than $350,000. I'm telling you all of this because I believe Amazon Helios is opening up a rare opportunity for you to make 500% gains in the coming months and years. But you need to get into position now. We are at a seminal moment in American history, and it's critical for you to understand what's happening before it's too late to take advantage. I say that because these types of setups occur maybe once or twice a century. If you don't get on this train before it leaves the station, you may never see another opportunity like this in your lifetime. You see, the massive disruptions, the ones that generate untold riches for savvy investors, only happen when an explosive energy breakthrough converges with a radical new technology. Consider the Industrial Revolution. During this era, you had trains crisscrossing the country for the first time, ships reconfiguring trade routes, and hundreds of supercharged new factories cropping up all over the U.S. But had James Watt never devised the perfect way to generate power from steam, none of these innovations would have gotten off the ground. Cornelius Vanderbilt wouldn't have made $100 million through steamships and railways, and James Hill wouldn't have acquired $63 million by assuming control of several major rail lines. It happened again in the 20th century. Cars were beginning to outnumber horse-drawn carriages. The skies were dotted with aircraft, and tractors across America were saving farmers billions of man-hours per year. But had Captain Anthony F. Lucas never discovered crude oil in Texas in 1901, none of these technologies would have altered the course of history. Nor would they have minted fortunes for investors who saw the writing on the wall. Ford stockholder Horace Rackham wouldn't have turned $5,000 into more than $12 million in just 10 years. And early Standard Oil shareholder Oliver Burr Jennings wouldn't have made $10 million. For the most recent example, look at the internet. Today you can visit your primary care physician, work at a Fortune 500 company, master a new language, and even take a private tour of the Louvre without leaving your home. It's all because in 1958, an engineer at Texas Instruments named Jack Kilby invented the fuel of the internet, integrated circuits. Kilby's invention can be found in nearly every piece of electronics we use today: smartphones, computers, even cars. It's the reason for the wealth of 8 of the 10 richest people in the world. I saw this paradigm shift happen in real time. I recommended Apple before it soared as high as 65,158%. I called Netflix a buy before it soared as much as 11,108%. And I even recommended Amazon before it surged as high as 8,433%. Granted, these are maximum gains from some of my best picks. There are no guarantees that any company will perform as well as these stocks did. All investments carry some degree of risk. That said, I believe Amazon Helios will be even bigger than the internet. And I'm not alone in that opinion. CNN reports it could solve the biggest existential crisis in human history. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman is predicting that this technology will transform society. Bill Gates says it will be very, very critical. Bear in mind, this technology is not new. We've known about it for decades. But until recently, it was seen as a pipe dream. That all changed a few years ago when a game-changing science experiment proved it was not only possible, but practically inevitable. This sparked a gold rush among the Silicon Valley elite. According to Bloomberg, Sam Altman has made his largest personal investment, a whopping $375 million stake in this technology. Bill Gates has backed not one, not 2, but 4 companies in this space. What's more, Peter Thiel, Mark Zuckerberg, Dustin Moskovitz, Masayoshi Son, Vinod Khosla, John Doerr, George Soros, Richard Branson, and more are all scrambling to invest in this revolutionary technology. That's why the Wall Street Journal reports that a high-tech race is underway, and Jeff Bezos is quietly leading the pack. You see, he's been investing in this technology since 2011, long before Soros, Gates, and the rest of them. And this past February, Amazon announced a change that could take this tech to the next level, possibly minting millionaires, multimillionaires, and even billionaires in the process. If you follow my instructions, you could see massive gains. I'll tell you the 3 steps you need to take today, and I'll even give you a free recommendation, no strings attached. It's a stock that I believe could rocket higher in the months ahead. And no, it's not Amazon. I'll give you the name and ticker symbol in just a moment. But first, let me show you what Amazon Helios is all about. Helios, if you don't know, is the name of the Greek god who personifies the sun. I'm calling this initiative Amazon Helios because it leverages a chemical reaction that happens inside our sun. It's a form of nuclear energy. Now, normally when people talk about nuclear energy, they're talking about fission. Fission occurs when a neutron slams into a larger atom, forcing it to split into 2 smaller atoms, releasing a tremendous amount of energy. Fission generates electricity at 440 nuclear power reactors around the world. It's an amazingly safe, reliable, and clean power source. But today, I want to draw your attention to a more obscure and significantly more powerful form of nuclear energy. This energy is extremely efficient. According to MIT, this form of energy can create 20 to 100 million times more energy than coal, oil, or natural gas. What's more, it produces no carbon emissions or long-lived radioactive waste. And, most incredibly of all, its primary fuel is the most abundant element in the universe. That means it has the potential to generate virtually limitless energy. This is a scientific advance that the late Stephen Hawking dreamed of seeing in his lifetime. Hawking told Time magazine, "I would like this type of energy to become a practical power source. It would provide an inexhaustible supply of energy without pollution or global warming." Fast Company says it could be the future of clean energy, and BBC reports that it could produce endless amounts of clean energy without carbon emissions. You should give this situation your full attention, because if you catch a clean technology breakthrough early enough, you could collect huge returns in a remarkably short period of time. Enphase Energy, for example, is a manufacturer of microinverters. These devices convert the electricity from solar panels into usable electricity for your home. When Enphase saw a surge in consumer demand for these products, its stock took off like a rocket. It went up as much as 1,192% in less than 3 years. Shares of hydrogen fuel cell developer Plug Power jumped even higher. This stock shot up as high as 1,914% in less than a year. Or look at Tesla. Since 2019, it's up as much as 2,627%. I believe we're about to see the same kinds of price movements in another type of clean energy, one that will blow solar panels, wind turbines, and all other renewables out of the water. I'm talking about nuclear fusion. Unlike fission, which splits atoms, fusion combines atoms to form a single heavier one while releasing massive amounts of energy. This is the same nuclear reaction that powers our sun and all the other stars in the sky. But even though fusion was discovered all the way back in 1934, it seemed like scientists would never be able to make it truly work. After all, to replicate the process that powers the sun, you have to make these atoms incredibly hot. Fusion requires temperatures of 180 million degrees Fahrenheit. By performing this process, you usually end up expending more energy than you extract. That all changed on December 5th, 2022, when, for the first time in scientific history, Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory achieved fusion ignition. That's the name for when a fusion reaction produces more energy than it consumes. This breakthrough caused a frenzy in the scientific community. Time magazine dubbed the laboratory the nuclear fusion facility that changed the world. And by the way, if you want to see my sources for this presentation, I've backed all this up in the details and disclosures page below. But you see, there was a bigger story that was lost in the noise over this monumental achievement. A little-known company with the best chance of turning fusion into a reality. This firm was spun off from the same research institution that pioneered radar technology, the transistor radio, and CRISPR gene editing. It's set to produce fusion power at a fraction of the cost of the giants in this sector. Its plant will cost 93% less than the world's most powerful planned fusion reactor. CNBC calls it a leader in the nascent space. Unfortunately, this company is off limits to most individual investors. Only accredited investors can take a stake in it. But I found a back door into this company, one that can be accessed by any investor with just $30 in his brokerage account. The potential profits could be astronomical. I'll show you how to buy it in a minute. I urge you to strongly consider it because fusion could have a dramatic impact on our world. The change to your utility bill alone would be game-changing. Remember, fusion can create 20 to 100 million times more energy than burning coal, oil, or natural gas. In addition, its primary fuel is hydrogen, the most abundant resource in the universe. Therefore, it could generate virtually limitless energy. That's why, as the World Economic Forum puts it, at fusion's fullest capacity, anyone will be able to use as much electricity as they need with no environmental costs and very little expense. It's also why Jeff Bezos is going all in on this technology. It is critical to the continued growth of his Amazon empire. Think about it. Amazon delivers on average about 830,000 packages every hour. To do that, it deploys 100 cargo jets, 40,000 semi-trucks, 60,000 trailers, and 120,000 delivery vans. On top of that, Amazon also hosts nearly 50 million websites, powered by over 38 million square feet of data center and office space. Amazon's energy spending likely rivals the expenditures of many developed countries. I say likely because its overall energy consumption is a closely guarded secret. According to Forbes, all of the other big technology companies that dominate our digital lives, Alphabet, Apple, Facebook, and Microsoft, publish annual reports which detail their carbon footprints, electricity use, and overall energy consumption. But Amazon, the Goliath of big tech, won't reveal how much energy it uses. If Amazon refuses to say how much energy it's using, it's a safe bet that it's a colossal amount. That's why fusion is so important to Bezos. An energy breakthrough like that would transform Amazon's financial picture. No wonder Amazon recently announced an investment that could accelerate the development of fusion power. On February 6th, it reported its plans to spend $100 billion on AI investments in 2025. This is a major announcement. Amazon is putting far more money into AI than industry peers like Meta Platforms, Alphabet, and Microsoft. What does this mean for fusion? It means that Amazon will be able to harness artificial intelligence to solve one of fusion's biggest challenges. You see, one of the most common ways to achieve fusion energy is by combining two hydrogen isotopes in a donut-shaped machine known as a tokamak. When these isotopes are subjected to extremely high temperatures, they create a soup-like state of matter called plasma. The problem is, plasma needs to be controlled, and it's highly prone to tearing and escaping the tokamak's magnetic fields. Researchers from Princeton University have recently found a way to use AI to forecast these potential instabilities and prevent them from happening in real time. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. By assisting with tasks like data analysis, simulations, and optimization, just for starters, AI could fast-track the rollout of fusion technology. I believe Amazon's $100 billion AI investment will do a lot of the heavy lifting to turn fusion into a reality. Interestingly, while AI is the key to the advancement of nuclear fusion is the key to the advancement of AI. You see, AI is nowhere close to fulfilling its immense potential. I'm not saying that it isn't capable of extraordinary feats in its current state. I'm still amazed that this technology can generate reasonably good artwork, writing, and music with the press of a button. And it's no secret that stocks in this space have generated staggering returns for savvy investors. I know this better than nearly anyone. I recommended NVIDIA before it became, to quote Goldman Sachs, the most important stock on planet Earth, and soared 2,248%. Nevertheless, we are still early. The true potential of AI has yet to be realized. It's going to be so much bigger and more game-changing than the applications we're seeing today. We're likely going to see fleets of robotaxis roaming the streets in all major towns and cities. Scores of billion-dollar companies with one founder and no employees. And chatbots that can analyze your health better than even the most highly trained doctors. This isn't science fiction. It's already happening. But for artificial intelligence to continue its ascent, it needs to be paired with a breakthrough energy source like fusion. Consider, ChatGPT alone consumes as much power as 33,000 US households in a single day. And it's only going to get more energy intensive. A peer-reviewed analysis indicates that AI servers will use between 85 and 134 terawatt hours annually by 2027. That's on par with what Argentina, the Netherlands, and Sweden each use in a year. Many estimates project that power demand will outpace supply within the next 2 years. In my opinion, no amount of oil, natural gas, coal, wind energy, or solar panels will provide enough electricity to support AI's needs. To satisfy the near limitless power demands of AI technology, we need a near limitless power source. That's why I believe fusion is the key to unlocking AI's full potential. ChatGPT creator Sam Altman admitted as much. We still don't appreciate the energy needs of this technology, Altman told Bloomberg TV. There's no way to get there without a breakthrough. We need fusion. And scientists are going to achieve fusion far faster than you'd think. In fact, this past January, a laboratory in China set a new world record by maintaining a plasma operation for almost 20 minutes, nearly tripling the previous record. The San Diego Union Tribune reports that fusion technology is finally within reach. Meanwhile, nuclear stocks are going through the roof. NuScale Power, a designer of small modular reactors, has rocketed as much as 1,227% higher over the past year and change. In just the past 6 months, fellow nuclear tech stock Oklo has surged as much as 873%. Nuclear fuel supplier Centrus Energy has gone up as high as 2,693% since 2020. Think about that. If you had invested in the S&P 500 back in 2019, it would have taken you 5.5 years to make 2 times your money. These stocks could have handed you the chance to make 9 times, 13 times, and even 27 times your money in a fraction of the time. So how can you get started in this booming market? Well, let me show you the 3 steps I recommend you take immediately. You may be surprised to discover the firm that's making a massive bet on the realization of fusion power. It's an oil and gas company. It may seem strange that such a company would be advancing a power source that could disrupt the energy industry forever. But I believe its management sees that investing early in this potential breakthrough could yield massive returns over the long term. As an investor in not 1 but 2 fusion startups, this company is perfectly positioned to potentially make big money when scientists finally solve fusion. It's also prepared for the AI revolution. It recently announced a plan to develop natural gas-fired power plants to provide U.S. data centers with the power equivalent to run over 3 million homes. These plants will fast-track the AI boom by helping meet its high electricity needs. What about its financials? Well, that's where this firm really takes the cake. It's one of the most profitable companies in the world. Plus, it has raised its dividend every year without fail for the last 37 years. In my new report, The Nuclear Fusion Trailblazer, I lay out all the details about this great stock. This could be like investing in oil during the automotive revolution. I'll tell you how to instantly access this report in a moment. But first, there's another step you need to take to potentially profit from this $40 trillion shift. If you want to make big money in the market, your best bet is to position yourself in front of a massive, inevitable, and booming trend, one that looks like this. Though it may seem like we're at the top of the boom in artificial intelligence, there is a lot more growth ahead. The total market is projected to reach $415 billion by 2027 and surpass $826 billion in 2030. By that time, some experts are anticipating that there will be more than 8,000 data centers in operation. These data centers will require a lot of energy, up to 50 times the energy per floor space of a typical office building, much of which will be provided by nuclear power. That's because nuclear power plants can deliver hundreds of megawatts of power around the clock without producing greenhouse gas emissions. Microsoft, Alphabet, Meta, and of course Amazon are already investing billions of dollars in nuclear energy. Microsoft is even paying an energy company to revive 3 Mile Island in Pennsylvania. And on his first day in office, President Trump issued an executive order commanding all federal agencies to effectively clear the runway for nuclear energy investments. We're already starting to see an investment frenzy form in this space, as I showed you with NuScale, Oklo, and Centrus Energy. Now, I believe nuclear stocks are poised for another banner year. My team and I have pinpointed some of the best opportunities to play this trend. In my new report called New Nuclear: Top Stocks for the Future of Energy, I'll give you all the details, including the names of these stocks, their ticker symbols, and my instructions on how to buy them at the best possible price. There's no doubt in my mind, these investment recommendations could become the biggest gains of my career. I'll tell you how to claim this report shortly, but first, there's one more step I recommend. There's one more investment my team uncovered recently which we strongly recommend you make right away. It's a small company you've almost certainly never heard of. In short, this company's product is a key component of many critical types of technology, including smartphones, electric cars, and even some military applications that will be major elements in the future of AI. What's more, it was recently awarded a $258 million contract from the Department of Defense to continue building out its business. If we're right about our projections, this company could double its production over the next few years, and if that plays out as we expect, you will likely make an absolute killing. As I record this, it's only $4 a share, but don't expect it to stay that way for long. We think it has much higher to go. And like I said, I would bet just about anything you've never heard of it. I'd never heard of it either until my team brought it to my attention. What's great is this is a well-established, already profitable company, which happens to be in the exact right place at the exact right time, as its product is now critical for various AI applications. Of course, all investments carry risk, and this, like my other recommendations, is no exception. Past performance also doesn't guarantee success. And this speculation may not be for everyone. You could do just fine by putting your money in the other investments I've already told you about so far. But we think this speculation is one worth taking, especially considering the current boom in AI stocks. Last November, AI advertising firm AppLovin shot up 138% in just 1 month. SoundHound AI jumped as high as 1,309% in less than a year. And since 2022, Palantir Technologies, which uses AI to assist in counterterrorism operations, has soared 1,857%. The next big AI winner could be inside this report. It's called the AI Speculation. To sum it up, I'd like to send you the following 3 reports: the Nuclear Fusion Trailblazer, New Nuclear: Top Stocks for the Future of Energy, and the AI Speculation: How to Make 500% in the Next Few Years. And I'd like to give them to you completely free of charge. All I ask in return is that you try a no-risk trial subscription to my monthly investment newsletter, Commodity Super Cycles. Every month in Commodity Super Cycles, I'll show you the new energy breakthroughs unfolding across the world. This service is the product of my 18 years of experience on Wall Street, with a twist. When I worked as a hedge fund manager in Manhattan, my clients were some of the wealthiest people in the world. In fact, a handful were billionaires. But today, I cater my research to a different type of crowd, people from all walks of life. Teachers, doctors, lawyers, small business owners, retirees, you name it. I've teamed up with a group of top-level analysts to find profitable investment opportunities, many of which you've probably never heard of and aren't likely to hear about anywhere else. What's more, our financial research is independent. That means we don't own or trade the stocks we recommend, and we don't accept advertising. The only way we can stay in business is by giving you great ideas and advice so you can have the chance to achieve great investing results. To me, this just feels like a much better model than charging exorbitant fees to a handful of already wealthy people. And part of the reason I made this switch is because today I want to share my best ideas with like-minded folks from Main Street and Wall Street alike. This has always been important to me. I didn't come from money, and I'm still one of the most frugal people you'll ever meet. For example, I'm sure I was the only guy from my Harvard Business School class to spend a night at a youth hostel during a recent reunion. I was also one of the founders of Teach for America, served on the boards of more than a dozen nonprofits, taught introductory economics to high school and college students, and won the John C. Whitehead Social Enterprise Award from the Harvard Business School Club. And when the COVID-19 pandemic hit New York in 2020, I volunteered my time and money to help build a 68-bed field hospital in Central Park. That's why, as part of my latest venture, you can access my best ideas at a fraction of what you used to have to pay me as a hedge fund manager. Normally, access to commodity supercycles would cost you $499 a year. But today, I want to give you a chance to try my research totally risk-free at a huge discount to the normal price. Before we get to those details, though, there's another special benefit I'd like to give you today. As a special exclusive bonus today, I'm going to give you 12 months of Stansberry's Investment Advisory 100% free. This is Stansberry Research's flagship service, and I'm proud to serve as its editor. For the past 25 years, Stansberry's Investment Advisory has delivered huge stock gains in unexpected places, often in less time than you may have thought possible, like this 237% gain in just over a year, and this 229% gain in about 7 months. Here's an extraordinary 230% gain delivered in just over 2 years. Members even had the chance to lock in a 440% gain in 2022, the worst year for stocks since 2008. With results like this, I wasn't surprised to hear from a Stansberry's Investment Advisory subscriber who told us he made nearly $70,000 in 2 years following our work. Every month, if my team and I uncover a new stock we believe will soon go up across multiple investment trends, I add it to my model portfolio along with an easy-to-understand write-up of the stock and precise instructions on how to buy it. On top of that, every single day the markets are open, I'll send you my daily email addressing the most important issues affecting you and your money. You may have read other investment research emails before, but I promise you've never had access to anything like my daily email. At least 5 billionaires currently subscribe. One of them is Joel Greenblatt, who manages over $9 billion at Gotham Capital. Joel said, "I met Whitney in my class in Columbia Business School. We've become good friends. He's an excellent investor and, most importantly, a great teacher. I'm going to enjoy being a subscriber to his new research service." Another person on my email list is John Petrie, who manages nearly $4 billion. He said, "Whitney is one of the most connected investors I've met. He's been able to tap into an infinitely deep and unique network of people to come up with great insights into ideas and develop them that other people just can't do because they don't have the kind of network he does." I truly believe my daily email is one of the best places to find and read investing ideas in the world today. There's simply nothing else like it. And when you start a subscription to Commodity Supercycles, I'll immediately add you to my Whitney Tilson's daily email list. To sum up, by taking advantage of this offer today, you'll receive the next 12 months of Commodity Supercycles, where I'll show you how to invest in disruptive energy and resource trends with any of my new investment ideas on the second Monday of every month. The Nuclear Fusion Trailblazer. New Nuclear, top stocks for the future of energy. The AI Speculation, how to make 500% in the next few years. The next 12 months of our flagship publication, Stansberry's Investment Advisory, where I'll show you how to make money from breakthrough trends and powerful economic forces with new investment ideas on the first Friday of every month. My Whitney Tilson's daily email. Each day the markets are open. Soon you'll be part of a small collection of like-minded folks, which includes some of the wealthiest and richest investors in America. Plus, full access to all of our archived research reports and recommendations, including a very valuable report called The Number One Gold Stock of 2025, and another detailed analysis called the AI Currency Source. So, how much does it all cost? Well, that might be the best part. Frankly, I believe I could easily sell the package I put together today to wealthy investors for thousands or possibly tens of thousands of dollars. But I'm on a different type of mission today. I know there are a lot of people out there, normal people like my mom and dad who met and married in the Peace Corps in 1962 and are both teachers, who don't know what to do with their money right now. Should they sell all their stocks? Buy more? And what should they buy? Well, the first thing for anyone who wants the chance to dramatically grow their wealth in the next few years is to take advantage of all the investment ideas I'm going to send you in the reports I've described. Remember, a nuclear fusion reaction releases as much as 100 million times more energy than burning oil, natural gas, and coal. And because its primary fuel is hydrogen, the most abundant resource in the universe, fusion could become a source of virtually limitless energy. And now, thanks to AI, fusion is on the verge of becoming a reality. Many people are going to get rich. You could be one of them. But even if you decide not to invest in fusion, there are other smart steps you should take with your money today, too. For example, as of this writing, we're currently sitting on open gains of 227%, 102%, 183%, and 237%, just to name a few of our top positions. And today, you can get full access to my new research on the huge boom taking place in fusion power, plus my monthly newsletter, Commodity Super Cycles, where I offer investment ideas and update you on any adjustments I make to the model portfolio. In addition to my monthly newsletter, Stansberry's Investment Advisory, and my daily letter where I share investment ideas from my giant network of contacts in the investing community at a dramatically discounted price. I promise you, this is by far one of the best deals in the investment research world today, and it could radically transform your retirement finances over the next few years. Just click the button to see the full pricing details. Lastly, if you're skeptical, I don't blame you. I've been in your shoes before. Back in 2010, I had reservations about one of the hottest stocks on Wall Street, Netflix. I thought its transformation from a mail-order DVD rental outfit to a video streaming provider would never work. I even published a long and detailed article explaining why it was my hedge fund's largest bearish bet. This article generated a great deal of feedback, including an open letter from Netflix's CEO, Reed Hastings. He invited me to fly out to California and discuss his company in person. I took him up on his offer to meet, and once he laid out his vision for Netflix, I changed my mind. Big time. Not only did I cover my position the next day, but when the stock got cheap enough, I loaded up on shares and told CNBC that Netflix was a global growth opportunity. Had you invested $1,000 in Netflix that day, you could have turned that $1,000 into roughly $112,000. It's hard to invest in an opportunity that flies in the face of your preconceptions. But if you can overcome your skepticism, you could see the chance to create generational wealth. So to help you get over the hump, I've arranged a special guarantee with my publisher. I've set it up so that your trial subscription to Commodity Super Cycles is 100% risk-free. After reviewing everything I'll send you, if you decide in the next 30 days, for any reason, that my research isn't right for you, no problem. Simply give our member services team a call and they'll promptly refund 100% of your money. What's more, you can keep all the special reports as my gift to you. In other words, you have absolutely nothing to lose and a lot to gain when you take me up on this generous offer today. But before I let you go, I promised I'd give you a free pick. Let's start with Commonwealth Fusion Systems. Commonwealth has raised over $2 billion in funding since it spun out of MIT in 2018. Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates are among its backers. It also recently signed a multi-million-dollar agreement with the Department of Energy to advance fusion power. It's using that money to research and develop a fusion reactor near Richmond, Virginia. The reason Bezos likes this company is because it's taking an economical approach to nuclear fusion. Consider China, the European Union, India, Japan, Russia, South Korea, and the United States are collaborating on a massive fusion reactor that's being built in France. It's called ITER and is expected to be finished in 2034, costing as much as $65 billion to build. But Commonwealth's plant will likely come online ahead of ITER and produce the same amount of power at a fraction of the cost. It's expected to cost less than $3 billion. It's not hard to see why Bezos has made it a key piece of his nuclear initiative. Here's the rub. Commonwealth Fusion Systems is a privately held firm. You can't buy shares of it in the public market. You can, however, buy shares of Italian energy company Eni, one of Commonwealth's investors. It's a way to gain exposure to this investment trend while holding a stable stock with an impressive 7% dividend yield. Once again, the company's name is Eni. The stock symbol is E, and it trades on the New York Stock Exchange. But of course, I believe the biggest gains will come from the stocks I've selected in my special reports. Remember, you can claim all these reports for free today by taking a risk-free trial subscription to Commodity Supercycles. I look forward to having you on board this venture. You may have subscribed to an investment newsletter before, but I promise I'm going to be sharing ideas with you every weekday that are nothing like what you've seen before. To get started and to get access to everything I've described here in a matter of minutes, simply click the Get Started button below. This will take you to a secure order form where you can review everything before submitting your order. You'll have access to all of my reports, research, and my model portfolio in a matter of minutes. Thanks for watching.